Hello, my name is Steve Katnack. I'm the City of Fort Collins Light and Power Manager, and this is Lucinda Smith, a Senior Environmental Planner with the Natural Resources Department. We're here to talk to you today about the Plan Fort Collins Environmental Resources choices and proposed directions. The first section we'll be talking about is the energy policy choices that are being developed as part of Plan Fort Collins, and we are seeking public input into these elements. The energy policy for the city supports the ongoing city efforts and certainly helps us address some of our challenges of reducing fossil fuel use for building and energy needs. We also are working hard to maintain a reliable, cost-effective electrical system, and we're moving forward with upgrading and modernizing our electrical grid. As part of Plan Fort Collins, some of the new policy choices we'll be looking at are pursuing net energy use reduction. Our intent is to move forward, if the community supports it, in trying to reduce the reliance on conventional fossil fuel sources and also to increase energy efficiency, add additional distributed local energy sources such as solar and small wind throughout our system, and also to implement smart grid technologies in order to improve the efficiency of our electrical system. The second choice that we are examining is, should the city take a leading role in the modernization of our electric grid? Certainly there's been a lot of discussion on smart grid technology and implementing a IT control and data infrastructure over the grid in order to better understand how it's operating and also to increase how efficiently it's operating. Smart grid technology will also help us integrate more renewable energy and also integrate electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles in larger numbers to our grid. The third choice is also to move forward and look at energy performance of existing and future buildings. The city recognizes that our built environment provides a lot of opportunity for energy efficiency, and certainly those buildings that we have in stock that already exist will be with us and occupied for decades to come. With that, I'd like to turn this over to Lucinda to discuss the air quality policy choices and other elements of the environmental aspects of Plan Fort Collins.
Thank you, Steve. And I also would like to mention to viewers that there are choices in the transportation policy and resource section that also pertain to air quality. But in this environmental resources section, there are two air quality policy choices. Fort Collins is affected by a number of stationary and mobile sources, our air quality. And in fact, our number one source of air quality still is mobile sources. So you'll see that these policy choices focus on the transportation sector. For example, reducing vehicle miles of travel and shifting to alternative fuels and more efficient vehicles. These choices build on existing programs in Fort Collins that help improve air quality, such as the Mason Corridor, the Climate Action Plan, FC Bikes, and several other city programs. Policy choice number 4 is investigating whether we should employ price mechanisms. Develop and employ price mechanisms to reduce total vehicle miles traveled by citizens and businesses. Transportation can be looked at and is often referred to as a three-legged stool that involves impacts that come from driving behaviors, from the fuel content, and from vehicle efficiency. So this first policy choice looks at driving behaviors. Price mechanisms are an opportunity to send a price signal to motivate certain types of behaviors. And I'll just give you two quick examples. One would be pay-as-you-drive vehicle insurance, which in its most simple form just charges motor vehicle insurance rates as a function of how much you drive. So the less you drive, the less you pay for insurance. Another example of a price mechanism is location-efficient mortgages, and those are now offered in 4 cities around the country, where if your home is located in a place that's very accessible by walking or transit to other amenities and needs, such as school and work, then you might qualify for a loan with lower interest rates and lower down payments. Those are just a couple of examples of price mechanisms. Policy choice number 5 is investigating whether the city should invest in and promote alternative fuels and vehicles. So this is looking at the other 2 legs of the transportation stool. The option is to invest in infrastructure throughout the city to support alternative fuels, for example, compressed natural gas, ethanol, especially cellulosic ethanol as that becomes available, electricity either from the grid or from other renewable energy sources, and biodiesel to support that infrastructure and also promote the use of vehicles that use these fuels. Next, I'd like to talk about waste diversion policy choices. The solid waste diversion rate for the Fort Collins community was 38% in the year 2009, and the city has a policy goal to achieve a 50% diversion rate. There are many city programs in place to support solid waste reduction and recycling programs. We have a pay-as-you-throw ordinance which sends a price signal to residents and businesses that the amount of trash you throw out, you're charged per container. So we also offer the Rivendell full-service recycling center, the Christmas tree drop-off, and leaf exchange programs. But there's still untapped opportunities, especially in the area of commercial generators. Policy choice number 7 looks at reducing solid waste and diverting it from the landfill. And although this to some extent is an existing city policy, we would like to examine with the community how much further you think the community should go in this area. One of the benefits of recycling is that recycling is believed to generate more jobs than sending trash to the landfill. Then I'd like to look at another policy choice that covers several different areas in the environmental resources section, and it has to do with carbon intensity. Carbon intensity refers to the amount of carbon associated per unit of energy used or per unit of economic output. And per capita carbon intensity is rising nationwide. So efforts to reduce carbon intensity per person focus on supporting locally produced goods and locally produced food. It also can support more efficient production of goods and transportation of those goods to market. So this policy choice asks about reducing the community's per capita carbon intensity through approaches such as education and outreach, incentives, and targeted efforts looking at certain goods, perhaps, for example, construction materials and food. So that's been a quick review of the environmental policy choices that are being looked at as part of Plan Fort Collins. Citizens have a number of opportunities to provide feedback on these policy choices. If you look on the website fcgov.com/Plan Fort Collins, there's an opportunity to fill out an online survey regarding these choices. You can read the policy choices document there, and you can also download a comment form and submit that as well. So we hope this presentation has helped you by providing a little bit of background about these elements of the environmental policy choices. Thank you.